Wealth is not an accident. It does not fall from the sky. It is not granted to the innocent, nor is it a gift to the kind. Wealth is power, power is strategy, and strategy is war, fought in silence, without pity, without mercy. Understand this. The world does not reward fairness. It rewards leverage. It rewards those who move with calculation, not hesitation. The man who hesitates waits for permission. The man who commands takes what he wills. Society will tell you to be humble, to be patient, to play nice. That is the doctrine of the defeated. They want you tame, compliant, predictable. But money is not loyal to the tame. It bends to those who cannot be bent. To master money, you must first master yourself, your greed, your impulses, your fear, your weakness. You must burn the softness out of your character until all that remains is resolve sharper than a blade. When betrayal comes, and it will, you remain cold. When setbacks strike, and they will, you remain unshaken. When comfort whispers in your ear, you crush it, because comfort breeds slaves. Discipline breeds kings. The first law of money is this: bend nothing, break nothing, command everything. This is not philosophy. This is survival. Men who fail to command themselves are commanded by others. And in this world, the commanded always pay tribute to the commanders. So ask yourself right now, are you willing to step into the arena where wealth is carved out by iron wills? Or will you remain another nameless pawn, trading your hours for scraps? If you choose command, comment below. I bend nothing. I break nothing, I command. Say it, declare it, burn it into your mind until the world feels it. Part 2. The principle of power over illusion. Wealth hides behind illusions. The masses chase shadows, titles, trends, the applause of strangers. They spend their lives in pursuit of images, not reality. That is why they remain broke, powerless, and easily manipulated. You must see deeper. Money itself is not paper, not numbers on a screen. It is trust. It is control. It is leverage. It is the ability to bend reality in your favor while others fight over scraps. Those who understand this rule do not chase illusions. They create them. The rich man does not waste time proving himself. He builds an image that others believe in. He does not need to be strong. He only needs others to think he is untouchable. He does not need to be the smartest in the room. He only needs others to follow his lead. Power comes not from what is real, but from what others perceive to be real. And perception, my friend, is always for sale. This is why empires rise on illusions, why kings maintain crowns even when their armies are weak, why corporations dominate markets with smoke and mirrors while competitors drown in details. The second law of money is this: control perception, and you control wealth. If you can convince the world that your time is valuable, they will pay you to breathe. If you can frame yourself as a leader, people will obey without question. But if you remain addicted to reality alone, you will always be trapped, serving the illusions of men stronger than you. So sharpen your mind. Ask yourself, what illusions do you need to create to gain control? What masks must you wear to gain leverage? And what weaknesses must remain hidden behind a flawless surface? Comment below to prove you understand. Perception bends to me. Reality obeys me. Say it with conviction, because once you master illusion, wealth is no longer a chase. It becomes a weapon you wield. Part 3. The law of scarcity. How to weaponize demand. Power is not given, it is demanded, and demand is never equal. The world bows not to abundance, but to scarcity. What is rare is worshipped. What is common is discarded. Look around you. Gold is valued not because it is the strongest metal, but because it is rare. Diamonds hold power not because of utility, but because they are positioned as scarce. The elite know this law well. If you want to control value, you must control perception of scarcity. The weak flood the market with themselves. They make their time cheap, their attention cheap, their word cheap. They are available to everyone, all the time, for nothing. That is why they are ignored, stepped over, and forgotten. They are abundant, they are replaceable. But the man who understands scarcity makes himself untouchable. He is not everywhere, he is not for everyone. He chooses carefully where his presence is felt, and he withdraws before he is overused. His silence has weight, his word has cost, his time has a price. This is how men become forces, not by being everywhere, but by being scarce, decisive, undeniable. The third law of money is this: create scarcity around yourself, and you weaponize demand. When your product, your service, your presence is scarce, men will crawl for it. They will pay premiums for access. They will fight to stay close. The very act of limiting yourself multiplies your value. Remember, kings do not beg for subjects. Subjects beg for kings. So study your life. Where are you giving too much? Where have you made yourself common? Start cutting. Start controlling. Start restricting. Every time you withhold, your value sharpens. Every time you deny access, your power compounds. This is not arrogance, it is strategy. A man who respects himself creates distance. A man who seeks approval destroys it. Now comment below to prove you grasp this law. My scarcity is my power. Write it, declare it. Let the world know you are no longer cheap, no longer abundant, no longer replaceable. From this day forward, demand will rise, and you will stand above the crowd as the rarest of all, untouchable. Part 4. The Ruthless Law of Leverage. Power is never about effort alone. The world is filled with men who work themselves to the bone, sweating, grinding, sacrificing, yet they remain poor, weak, and invisible. Why? Because raw effort without leverage is slavery. Leverage is the ability to make small moves that produce massive outcomes. It is the ruthless law that separates rulers from the ruled. The slave lifts with his back. The king lifts with systems, influence, and control. Understand this: 1 hour of labor can feed a man, but one decision, executed with leverage, can feed generations. One man shouting commands may be ignored, but one man controlling the flow of money, the rules of the game, or the tools of violence, he cannot be ignored. The fourth law of money is this: leverage turns weakness into domination. Leverage takes many forms. Knowledge is leverage, knowing what others do not. Capital is leverage, using money to make more money while others waste time. Networks are leverage, placing yourself at the center of influence, where every connection extends your reach. Technology is leverage, machines, systems, algorithms that multiply your force. Even fear is leverage, the ability to paralyze an opponent without ever raising your hand. Those who lack leverage must always beg. Those who possess leverage dictate the terms. That is why corporations rule employees. That is why nations control populations. That is why a few men steer the fate of billions. They understand the game. Never fight fair when leverage can fight for you. So ask yourself, where are you wasting energy with no multiplication? Where are you grinding with no compounding effect? If every hour you give returns only that hour, you are still a slave. But if every move you make creates waves, ripples, and consequences that outlive you, then you are becoming untouchable. Do not seek balance. Seek leverage. Do not seek fairness. Seek advantage. A man without leverage is a pawn. A man with leverage becomes a king. Comment below to prove you understand this law. Leverage makes me untouchable. Write it. Declare it. Own it. Because the day you master leverage is the day you stop playing the game and start designing it. Part 5. The Law of Ruthless Exchange. Never give without taking. Spoken script. The world runs on exchange. Every interaction, every conversation, every deal, every alliance, it is all a transaction. The naive believe in selfless giving. They tell themselves that virtue lies in sacrifice, that goodness alone will bring rewards. But listen carefully. Sacrifice without return is weakness. Giving without taking is servitude. Understand this. The powerful always take more than they give. This does not mean they cheat, it means they calculate. They give strategically with precision, never blindly. Every move is designed to bring return, whether in wealth, loyalty, influence, or power. The man who gives endlessly without demanding return is drained. His energy stolen, his time consumed, his resources wasted. He becomes invisible, forgotten, discarded. Because in the brutal psychology of wealth and power, the world respects what extracts value. The fifth law of money is this: never give without taking. When you give, attach strings. Make your gift a chain that binds others to you. Give only when the return is greater. Do not waste generosity on those who cannot elevate your position. And when you must give freely, make sure it builds your image, sharpens your reputation, or increases your leverage. Even kindness must be calculated. History proves this law. Empires never gave land without expecting tribute. Kings never gave titles without demanding loyalty. Merchants never gave credit without expecting profit. Even in friendship, even in love, exchange rules all. Remove exchange, and bonds rot. Maintain it, and they last. Do not confuse this with cruelty. It is not cruelty, it is clarity. To give without return is to deny yourself. To give without return is to announce weakness, and the predator always spots weakness. So train yourself. Every meeting, every handshake, every investment, every favor, ask one question: what do I gain? If the answer is nothing, walk away. The men who master this law become untouchable. Because while others bleed themselves dry, proving their goodness, the strategist grows stronger, richer, and feared. He gives when it builds his empire. He withholds when it weakens him. This law does not make you heartless. It makes you sovereign. It frees you from manipulation. It ensures your resources are never squandered on parasites, and instead, invested in power. Now prove you grasp this law. Comment below. Every gift I give makes me stronger. Say it. Write it. Own it. Because the moment you embrace ruthless exchange, the world shifts. People stop seeing you as a resource to drain and start seeing you as a force to respect. Remember this: wealth is not accumulated by endless sacrifice. Wealth is built by precise, ruthless exchange. Give only to grow. Take always with intention. From this day forward, let no act of yours be free. Every move must carry a return. That is how kings rise while slaves remain forgotten. Part 6. The Law of Fear. How to command without begging. Power is never asked for, it is taken, and once taken, it must be protected. The weak beg for respect, the strong command it. How? Not through love, not through kindness, but through fear. Understand this: love is fragile. Love shifts with moods, circumstances, betrayals. A man loved today may be despised tomorrow, but fear endures. Fear roots itself deep in the mind. Fear forces compliance even when love has vanished. This is why rulers of history chose fear over affection. This is why the Machiavellian mind understands it is safer to be feared than loved. The sixth law of money and power is this: fear commands where words fail. Fear is not always about violence. Violence is crude. Fear is psychological. Fear is the silent calculation others make when they realize crossing you will cost them too much. It is the reputation that precedes you, the aura of consequence surrounding your name. It is the certainty that betrayal will be punished, that disrespect will be answered, that loyalty is the only safe option. Most men live terrified of being disliked. They beg for approval, they soften their words, they compromise endlessly, and in doing so, they destroy their own authority. They become clowns, bending for scraps of validation. You must kill this weakness. Stop fearing disapproval. Start cultivating the fear of your presence. Ask yourself, what happens when someone crosses you? If the answer is nothing, you are already defeated. If people believe they can disrespect you without cost, you will always remain powerless. But when they know your retaliation is cold, decisive, and inevitable, they think twice. They hesitate. That hesitation is power. Do not confuse fear with cruelty. Cruelty is reckless. Fear is controlled. A lion does not roar endlessly. It roars once, and the jungle obeys. You do not need to punish everyone, only a few. Make those few examples loud and unforgettable. Then watch how quickly order follows. Fear also commands in business. The investor feared for his capital respects your discipline. The competitor feared for his survival respects your moves. The ally feared of losing your alliance respects your loyalty. Fear is not brutality, it is leverage. The masses avoid fear because it isolates them. But you are not the masses. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be respected, obeyed, and untouchable. Fear may close some doors, but it will open greater ones, the doors that lead to sovereignty. So cultivate the aura. Speak less, but mean more. Punish betrayal without hesitation. Reward loyalty, but never let anyone forget the cost of treachery. This balance is the essence of Machiavellian mastery. Now, comment below to prove you understand. Respect me or fear me, but never ignore me. Write it, declare it, own it. Because in the cold reality of power, being ignored is death. Better to be feared than forgotten. Better to be respected than liked. The world bows not to those who beg, but to those who command without asking. Build that aura, and you will never chase power again. It will chase you. Part 7. The Law of Silence, the weapon of the unreadable. Noise is weakness. Noise is desperation. Men who cannot control themselves drown in words, explanations, and endless chatter. They speak to be understood. They speak to be liked. They speak because silence terrifies them. But silence, that is where true power lives. Understand this. When you are silent, you are unreadable. And the unreadable man cannot be controlled. He cannot be predicted. He cannot be manipulated. Silence breeds fear, curiosity, and respect. It forces others to project their insecurities, their doubts, their weakness onto you. And that projection becomes your weapon. The seventh law of money and power is this: silence multiplies strength, noise bleeds it away. The world is full of men who reveal themselves too quickly. They brag about plans. They boast about deals. They explain their every move, hoping to be admired. And in doing so, they hand their enemies ammunition. They expose their strategy before it matures. They reveal their weaknesses before they can defend them. You must be different. Be unreadable. Say little. Show little. Reveal nothing until it is already too late. Let your victories announce themselves when they are undeniable. Let your silence create unease, tension, and speculation. People fear what they cannot measure. They respect what they cannot decode. In war, the general who conceals his plan wins before the battle begins. In business, the man who moves quietly secures the deal while his rivals are still talking. In life, the man of silence commands respect without asking for it. But silence is not emptiness. It is control. It is calculation. Use it deliberately. When you speak, your words must cut like a blade, short, precise, decisive. The fewer you use, the heavier they land. Silence makes every word you do speak more valuable, more feared. This law also applies to wealth. The man who flaunts his riches becomes a target. The man who hides his hand grows richer in peace. Flaunting invites envy, theft, betrayal. Silence shields you. It lets you build in shadows until your empire is untouchable. Control not only your words, but your reactions. The man who is provoked into constant defense reveals his insecurity. The man who remains silent in the face of insult radiates dominance. His silence says, "Your words are beneath me," and nothing enrages an enemy more than being ignored. Silence also creates mystery. Mystery breeds intrigue. Intrigue draws people closer, desperate to figure you out. And in their pursuit, you gain power over them. Remember, the loud man is common, the silent man is rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. But beware, silence must never be cowardice. Silence without strength is weakness disguised. Your silence must be backed by confidence, by power, by the will to act. Otherwise, it is only passivity. So from today, discipline your tongue, speak less, listen more, reveal nothing. Let the world lean in to hear you instead of drowning them in noise. Now prove you grasp this law. Comment below, "My silence is my fortress." Write it, declare it, own it. Because in a world addicted to noise, the man who masters silence becomes untouchable. Never forget this. Noise is for the desperate. Silence is for the powerful. Control your words and you will control the battlefield. Control your reactions and you will control men. Control your silence and you will control destiny itself. Part 8. The law of ruthless focus, the power of elimination. The world is drowning in distraction. Every man claims he wants power, wealth, respect, but watch how they scatter their energy across 1,000 useless pursuits. They chase every opportunity, follow every temptation, answer every call for their attention, and then they wonder why they remain weak, broke, and invisible. Here is the truth. A divided man is a defeated man. The 8th law of money and power is this: focus is forged through ruthless elimination. Understand this, power does not come from doing more. Power comes from doing less, with absolute intensity. A blade is sharp, not because it is wide, but because it is narrow. A river carves stone, not because it spreads, but because it concentrates. Your life must become the same, narrowed, concentrated, cutting through obstacles with relentless precision. But here lies the dark truth. To focus, you must kill. Kill distractions, kill temptations, kill the endless noise of mediocrity that surrounds you. You must learn to eliminate without mercy. Every task, every habit, every person that does not advance your empire must be cut off. Mediocre men fear elimination. They cling to everything. They hoard friendships, projects, hobbies, even dreams that weaken them. They say yes to all, and so they betray themselves. You must be different. You must learn the power of no. Ruthless, cold, unapologetic, because every no sharpens your path, while every yes dilutes it. Ask yourself, how many hours do you bleed on distractions? How many times have you chased meaningless approval? How much energy have you wasted on people who cannot move you forward? Be honest. That weakness is why you are not yet untouchable. Focus is war. And in war, survival demands sacrifice. You cannot carry everything. You cannot chase every path. You cannot please every voice. To become powerful, you must choose one direction and burn everything else behind you. That is how empires are built. That is how wealth is mastered. Think of the predators of nature. The lion does not chase every animal. It selects one target, stalks it with patience, and destroys it with precision. The eagle does not flap in panic at every movement. It locks onto prey, dives, and kills. You must become the same. Cold, selective, deliberate. This law also applies to wealth. The poor scatter their money across endless impulses, gadgets, entertainment, vanity. The powerful focus their money like a weapon, invested in assets, leverage, and systems that multiply. Scarcity of focus creates abundance of results. But let me warn you, The price of focus is loneliness. When you eliminate distractions, you will also eliminate people. Many will not understand. They will call you cold. They will call you arrogant. They will resent your refusal to play their games. Let them. Weak men seek comfort. Strong men seek crowns. Ruthless focus demands that you embrace this isolation, that you learn to find strength in the silence of discipline, while the masses drown in noise. This is not punishment. This is liberation. Now, listen carefully. Every master you admire, every empire you envy, every fortune you wish to hold, it was built on elimination, the courage to cut, the discipline to focus, the will to stay unmoved while others scatter. So prove you understand this law. Comment below. I cut what weakens me. I sharpen what strengthens me. Say it, declare it, own it, because until you kill distraction, you will remain a slave to it. Never forget, success is not built by addition, it is built by subtraction. Every no you speak is a hammer strike forging the blade of your destiny. And when that blade is sharp enough, nothing will stand against you. Part 9. The Law of the Iron Frame. How to bend the world without breaking yourself. Power is not always about force. Sometimes it is about something subtler, deadlier, more unshakable. The frame. What is a frame? It is the mental fortress you carry into every interaction. It is the invisible boundary that tells the world, this is who I am, this is how I operate, this is the ground you stand on when you deal with me. A strong frame bends others to it. A weak frame is bent, twisted, shattered. The 9th law of money and power is this: he who controls the frame controls the outcome. Most men live in broken frames. They adapt to everyone else's expectations. They apologize for their existence. They shrink in the presence of resistance. Their emotions are tossed like a leaf in the wind, dictated by the moods and opinions of others. And because they lack an iron frame, they are endlessly manipulated. But the man with an iron frame cannot be bent. His presence dictates the energy of the room. His silence commands respect. His conviction intimidates doubt. When he speaks, he does not ask. He declares. When others challenge him, he does not waver. And because he does not waver, they eventually break against him. This is why Machiavelli taught that a ruler must be immovable in principle, even if flexible in appearance. The iron frame is both armor and weapon. It shields you from manipulation, and it shapes the battlefield to your advantage. In business, the man with an iron frame sets the terms of negotiation. In relationships, he defines the standard. In leadership, he projects certainty so powerful that others submit willingly. The weak ask, "What do you think?" The strong say, "This is how it is." But understand this: an iron frame is not arrogance. It is clarity. It is self-command. It is the refusal to be pulled into weakness, distraction, or emotional chaos. It is rooted in self-mastery. If you cannot control your emotions, your impulses, your fears, you will never control the frame. An iron frame also requires patience. Do not react to every insult. Do not justify yourself to every critic. Do not explain yourself to the unworthy. Reaction is surrender. Explanation is submission. The iron-framed man does not explain. He demonstrates. His actions, his results, his presence speak louder than words. The enemy of the iron frame is insecurity. Insecure men cling to approval. They beg to be understood. They argue endlessly to prove themselves. In doing so, they betray their weakness. But the sovereign man does not seek approval. He imposes reality. He bends the conversation, the situation, the perception until it aligns with his will. But here is the dark psychology. The world secretly craves men with iron frames. Most people are lost, uncertain, desperate for direction. When you project certainty, they will follow, even if they do not fully agree. When you radiate unshakable belief, They will bend their doubts to your conviction. People do not follow truth, they follow strength. Now ask yourself, what is your frame? Do you enter the room apologizing for your presence, or do you enter as the gravity that shapes it? Do you break under pressure, or do you force the world to adapt to you? If your answer is weakness, then your wealth, your respect, your influence will always be stolen. But if your answer is strength, then no storm can break you. The iron frame bends reality itself. From this moment you must decide, no more begging, no more apologizing, no more adapting to weakness. You will build a frame so ironclad that nothing bends you. Now prove you understand this law. Comment below, I bend nothing. The world bends to me. Say it, write it, own it. Because when your frame is iron, every negotiation shifts, every enemy hesitates, every ally leans closer. Remember this, the man who controls the frame never needs to chase. He dictates, he decides, he dominates. And in a world of weak men, that is the ultimate currency of power. Part 10. The Law of Legacy, Becoming Untouchable Beyond Time. We have walked through the laws, power, scarcity, leverage, fear, silence, focus, the iron frame. Each one sharpens you, each one prepares you, but there is one law above them all. The law that ensures everything you build does not vanish the moment you fall. The 10th and final law is this: the law of legacy. Become untouchable beyond time. Understand this: wealth without legacy is nothing but temporary indulgence. Power without legacy dies with your last breath. How many men have gathered riches only to watch them dissolve when they're gone? How many kings once feared are now dust, forgotten, irrelevant? They thought their power eternal, but they built nothing that outlived them. Machiavelli himself wrote that fortune is fickle, but reputation, when carved into the bones of history, outlives the man. Legacy is not about being remembered by everyone. Legacy is about ensuring that your influence, your wealth, your structures, your principles continue to shape reality long after you are no longer here to command them. Legacy is strategy extended beyond your lifetime. It is the empire that generates wealth whether you breathe or not. It is the name that forces respect even in your absence. It is the power structure that your enemies cannot kill because it is no longer tied to just you. It has become immortal. The weak think only of survival. The average think only of comfort. The powerful think only of control. But the sovereign, the rarest of men, thinks of legacy. How do you build it? You build systems, not habits, assets, not expenses, structures that outlast your emotions, organizations that multiply your reach, principles that shape generations of men who will never meet you, but will live under your shadow. Do not mistake this law for sentimentality. Legacy is not about warm memories. It is about control after death. It is about installing your presence into time itself. It is about bending reality so hard that even when you are gone, it does not snap back. It stays bent. The men who mastered this are remembered as empires, dynasties, legends. Their words still quoted, their strategies still followed, their empires still standing. Meanwhile, the nameless billions vanish, forgotten the moment they are buried. You must choose which path you will take. Ask yourself, when you are gone, will your work remain? Will your name still command respect? Or will you vanish like smoke, one more man who lived, worked, died, and was erased? The law of legacy demands sacrifice. It demands you play the long game, not the shallow game. It demands you delay comfort for structure. It demands you think 50 years ahead, not 5 minutes. This is why most men will never achieve it. They are too weak, too impatient, too addicted to now. But you, if you have followed these laws, must rise above them. And here lies the dark truth. Legacy is not built for the masses. It is built for the select few who dare to rise beyond themselves, those who are willing to see their life not as a single flame, but as the spark that ignites a firestorm across generations. This is where wealth becomes true power. Money alone is fragile. Money disappears with inflation, with corruption, with theft. But legacy, systems of wealth, frameworks of control, networks of influence, that survives storms, that survives time. The 10th law commands you: stop living only for yourself. Stop chasing temporary victories. Begin building your structures. Begin crafting your dynasty. Begin etching your principles so deep into the stone of reality that no enemy, no rival, no weakling can erase you. And remember, legacy is not just about what you leave behind. Legacy is also about the fear and respect you project now, because men know you are not just playing for today, you are playing for forever. Now, prove you understand this final law. Comment below. I will outlive time. My legacy is untouchable. Write it, declare it. Let the world know you are not here for scraps. You are here for eternity. This is the end of the 10 laws, but it is only the beginning for you, because now you hold the blueprint, the philosophy of wealth, the Machiavellian strategy of power, the psychology of becoming untouchable. Do not just listen, execute, cut distractions, build leverage, command fear, control perception, harden your frame, forge your legacy. And if you want more, if you are ready to sharpen your mind into a fortress no one can breach, then like this video, subscribe to Mental Fort and turn on notifications. Because the war for power does not rest, and neither should you. The laws are written, the path is here. The only question is, will you take it?